The rainforest, the jungle. There's more life in it, and there are more layers of life in it than any other habitat on Earth. Like a big green belt, the rainforest wraps itself around the middle of the Earth, called the equator, and it goes through the warm-weathered countries of South America, Central Africa, Southeast Asia, and islands in the Pacific and Caribbean. The temperature is usually about 80 degrees, and it's the oldest habitat on Earth. Even during the Ice Age, the rainforest was a nice, warm, wet place to live. Water's everywhere here, and rain falls almost every day. Sometimes you can hear it raining long before a drop of it hits you. That's because it falls first on the thick layer of leaves at the tops of the trees. That's called the canopy. And many animals live in the canopy. All that water is one of the main reasons that the rainforest is so full of life. Half of all the world's plant and animal species live in the rainforest. Most of them can't be found anywhere else and can't live anywhere else. Some birds, though, fly from half a world away to spend their winter in the rainforest. All these different life forms couldn't possibly live together in one place if they didn't specialize, if they didn't have their own special way to live here. The lesser kiskadee feeds off the flies on this caiman's head. A good deal for both of them. Macaws are the largest parrots in the world, and they have big, tough beaks that they use like nutcrackers. They specialize in eating bitter, unripe fruits and seeds. But their food is so toxic that the birds would probably get sick if they didn't also eat clay from the banks of the river. The clay works like a jungle antacid. It settles a sour stomach and allows the macaw to eat its own special food. Endlessly flipping leaves is how this bird finds its food. It uncovers small insects who live on the floor of the rainforest. These tiny leafcutter ants are not going to eat the leaves they're carrying away. They're going to bury them with some saliva. Later, they'll eat the fungus that grows on them. That's their special food. That's how they survive. These butterflies eat minerals like those that live in the eyes and nose of the turtle. Not much fun for the turtle. And these native people, the Machagenga, are eating a rainforest delicacy, beetle grubs. They taste like soft cheese. Like the animals and the people, rainforest plants all have their niches, which means that they grow or live in their own special places, absorb their own nutrients, and reproduce in their own way. Some trees, for example, might grow shorter roots than others, so they can have access to their own patch of earth and food. Some grow taller, so they can get more sun. Some plants are food or shelter for monkeys, like this emperor tamarin monkey, named for its regal mustache. The monkey returns the favor by spreading the plant's pollen around with its mustache. This service by the monkey and other animals and insects helps plants to reproduce. The plants and animals live in their own niches, but they also live together and depend on each other to survive and reproduce. All plants and animals of the rainforest are dependent on each other in many different ways. If one type of plant or animal is removed from the forest, another may die or disappear as well. When a tree is cut and taken away, the food and habitat it provides are taken from the plants and animals that need them. Also, if enough trees are removed, the soil dries up in the sun. Then, when it rains, the water washes the soil and the nutrients away. There are no plants or roots to hold it there. This makes it hard for more plants to grow. But when a tree or other plant dies naturally in the rainforest, it's recycled. It's broken down by bacteria, fungi, worms, termites, and ants, which are called decomposers. Soon the broken down nutrients left in the soil are taken up through the roots of other plants and used by them. Within the forest, the Machaganga do cut down plants for wood and food, but they don't clear any area completely. Also, they plant many different species, and they plant more than they need, so there is some for them and for the animals in the forest who share the garden. When you look at a Machaganga garden, it's hard to tell the difference between it and other wild parts of the rainforest. Like everywhere, the aim of life in the rainforest is survival. True, most life is eating something or being eaten by something else, but having a home and reproducing are also important parts of life. These holes are for the eggs of the sand wasp. She will lay a single egg in each and seal a live horsefly in the chamber. When the baby wasp hatches, it will be hungry and will eat the fly. This member of the oven bird family builds its creative oven-shaped nest out of mud. There's lots of mud in the rainforest. Macaws build their nest in the tops of dead palm trees. These spots are about 100 feet above the ground and can be big enough for a person to sleep in. There are only so many, though, and it's not unusual to find birds fighting over them. In the jungle, sometimes, the contest for food and space turns into a shouting and shoving match. Once they've got a nest, macaw parents lay 2 eggs. Only one survives. Although its parents may be beautiful, it's fair to say that this chick is a classic ugly duckling. Maybe its drab color protects it so no one eats it. But whatever the reason for its unappealing appearance at first, just look at what happens over the next 5 weeks. The feather patterns on each macaw are unique, like its own fingerprints. And these parrots are not the only rainforest animals with beautiful colors or markings on their bodies. Bright colors can frighten off a predator, which is another animal that might want to cause harm. Colors can also help attract a mate. Some animals attract each other in other ways, like these mating dances. All this dancing, the colors, the search for food and living space, it's all tied to survival and to the inborn need to continue. The plants, animals, and native people of the rainforest are fighting to survive, and it's important that they do. Rainforests help to control the weather for the whole world. When it rains here, the heat makes the rainwater evaporate back into the air, and then it rains again. The water is recycled. Also, the rain clouds that cover the forest reflect the sun. This keeps it from getting too hot for all the plants, animals, and people who depend on it. Many important things come from the rainforest. medicines like aspirin, and many of the fruits, vegetables, nuts, and spices that we eat. There's so much life here. On just one tree in one forest, a scientist found 50 different kinds of ants. One 4-acre patch of land can have as many as 150 different kinds of butterflies. And there are millions of other insects. If you looked around the rainforest for just a few hours, you would probably find an insect that nobody knows about yet. You could even name it after yourself. We only know a little about the many plants and animals here, but already half of the rainforest on Earth is gone because of cutting trees, not farming the land the right way, crowding, and taking animals away as pets. The native people and many other people are trying hard to save the rest of the rainforest habitat. They know that we are all dependent on this special, wet jungle.